Hello everyone, Luke Taylor here with another album review, and today's album is 1985 Dokken, Under Lock and Key. So Dokken is one of those hair metal bands, glam metal bands from the late 70s, 80s and all that, and I really think that they're overlooked as far as like one of the best bands of the era. You know, obviously Van Halen and someone like Def Leppard who had you know, really huge hits, Guns N' Roses of course. Some of those bands, you know, they can still fill arenas and stadiums if they're still touring or if they're still together. But Dokken is one of those bands where if you look back and just check out the music, they're just amazing. Especially, I should say, the three records with George Lynch, and that's kind of where I'll go into this whole argument about how amazing Dokken is and how much I love to listen to him. So the thing is, Dokken is another one of those LA bands that kind of suffers from the same tropes as all of the, you know, LA glam bands and that whole scene. Is that they have a lot of different members and a lot of different lineups, and then they just kind of have the rise and fall of the radio and all that, and very much like grunge or something like that, they're a part of a genre and a part of a movement. So that said, if you focus on the George Lynch records, which are Under Lock and Key, Tooth and Nail, and Back for the Attack, I don't think there's any better glam band, or 80s hair band, or whatever you want to call it. We'll just call it glam. We'll just call it glam. Hard rock. But his playing is just so amazing. He is a really underrated guitar player, a really underrated songwriter and musician, and he's one of those guys who's just really unique, and he marches to the tune of his own drum and to his own beat, and the riffs and the way he writes, the way he solos, everything he adds to this band and to this record, I think are truly timeless. As far as guitars and gear, I don't think he was with ESP at this time. He might have been using his J-Frog guitar. I think I got a picture of that. But again, just a really different guy. He's from Spokane, Washington, which is here in Washington State. He's just got this whole vibe that's different than everybody of that era. And what he brings to Dokken is that sense of being different. His tone on this record is awesome. Just listen to this record for the music. Now, I will say that the band is named Dokken, and Don Dokken is the singer, and he's the one who created the band and started the band. And obviously going through different lineup changes, we get to this era, and this is 1985, so this is the beginning of the Lynch era. And I think Don's singing on this is great. He has a really nice range, he has a really nice quality to his voice, and the way he sings a lot of the songs, they're very even-tempered and really nice performances, and there's a bit of sadness to every song. It's this little glimmer of sadness upon everything, which is actually quite nice when you listen to it, because there's more of a story there, I guess, and it gives a little more depth and meaning to a genre that traditionally might not have a lot of depth. You know, glam is not known for very deep lyrics and all that. Just known for more fun and all that. But his singing on this is excellent. He has a very nice range. I just think the way that he delivers a lot of the songs is very memorable. So let's get into the songs. Obviously, Unchain the Night was the big single from this, and it's just a way to start off a record. If you listen to Unchain the Night, you know, you plug it in, turn it on, listen to Unchain the Night, and you're like, nah, it's not for me. You're not going to like the record. But if you're like into it, just the rest of the record is just perfect. So all the songs on here, as far as like hits go and singles and all that, I just think they're all so well written and they're so fantastic. And obviously they didn't achieve the success of something like Pour Some Sugar on Me or something like that. Some of those glam songs that are still played, you know, in arenas and sporting events and very famous songs. But that doesn't mean they're not as good or not as memorable. You listen to this album a few dozen times, the songs will stay with you. They're really well written. And again, this is the kind of thing where you've got, you know, great riffs, a lot of Hairspray, big ballads, and George Lynch just delivers on every single song and every single note. I just don't even know what to say. If you don't know, you know, about George Lynch or his whole thing, I think he's one of those master guitar players, master musician, very, very unique guy, really cool. His sound on this is so fat. I think I've said that already, but I'm going to keep saying it. It's just like this really organic, fat rock and roll tone, like when he squeals notes, when he bends them, all the kind of like all the kind of flashy stuff. It doesn't register as flashy, you know, like tapping and whammy bar tricks. It doesn't register as flashy so much as it registers as really emotive, communicative playing. You know, he's really wailing, bending notes, and just like just you feel the soul of the instrument. He's a very soulful player. He plays blazingly fast too, but it's not just flashy garbage. It's really, really beautifully written stuff, and I think, I mean, he has a lot of different bands and projects, and he's still playing great music. But this stuff that he recorded with Dokken is my favorite of his. It's one of a kind, truly. So I really like the work that Neil Kernan and Michael Wagner did on the engineering and the mixing. I think some of this era of these records can have too much reverb or be too drenched in, you know, just 80s-ness, 80s, you know, style. But this one sounds really timeless. I really think that. And if you own a Corvette or sports car, you know, with a tape deck, don't take that tape deck out for a CD player. Get this on cassette and enjoy a ride on the highway. Mick Brown's drums are really nice. They sound great. And Jeff Pilson's bass is really great too. He plays all the riffs and all the way that they produced it and stuff. He plays it really well. He fits really well with the band. And, you know, all the hallmarks of this era, like the gang vocals, the really loud choruses, everything works. Everything works. I really look forward to reviewing the other Dokken albums with the George Lynch era. But if you don't know this band or you don't know this album, you really have to listen to it. It's got to be the best of the era. I really think so. So that said, you know what my rating is. It's just impossible not to rate this gold. Listen to it a bunch of times, and I think you'll feel the same way. Of course, if you like glam, if you like hair. You know, I was born in the 80s, and yeah, looking back on it now, there's a lot to offer. It is very timeless, and I would love for you to listen to it and tell me what you think. So, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.